What up, what up, what up, everybody? What up, what up? Now, let you know, I'm in my basement. The Wi-Fi is janky, child. So listen, this. Welcome to another episode of Libra Stars Podcast. I am your host, Libra J. Hicks. My lovely special guest who is always here, Miss Angela M. Mitchell, and we are continuing our conversation of bipolarism and ADHD, piggybacking off of what we did last week. We were talking about mania and our highs, and I ended with my low. And we're going to pick up with this episode discussing our manias when we are in our lows, what they look like, what they feel like, shit like that. And before we keep going, let me say this. I encourage all who may feel like you might be a little neurospicy, is what I like to call it, to go get it checked out. Why? Because it will help you with the for real, you are here. Like, what do I need to fix and work on? That's really what that is. That's what getting my diagnosis, my late diagnosis was for me, so that I can evolve into the absolute best individual I can possibly be.
That part.
No stone unturned. No stone unturned. So Angie, we picked up, I gave a story just briefly when we were ending the last show about my low. And just so you guys can pick up where we left off on the other one, if you didn't catch last week's episode, I was talking about my low. And we were talking about no matter what, continue to seek out help. And giving an example of that is through my own experience when I was at my rock bottom. Okay, when I say my rock bottom, okay, I'm begging for help. When I start begging for shit, I'm at my rock bottom. I had a doctor's appointment, and prior to the doctor's appointment, that day I was in a meltdown. I was in a severe meltdown. I could not get it together. And I struggled really bad. I was in a very low depression. I could not explain. But I was struggling to get to the appointment, called the doctor, let them know that I was struggling, I was going to be late. Pieced a little piece together, got there about 15 minutes late, got upstairs. The secretary said I was late. I'm begging to see the doctor. He knows I'm here for health follow-up.
Right.
They looked at her. She comes out the back. They look at her. They go talk to her. She tells them, no, she don't want to see me. I was 15 minutes late. She ready to go home. Whoop-de-woo. The ladies come back. They say, no, she can't see me. Then I'm still begging, but the begging comes off as aggression to them. And then they tell me they're going to have me removed from the property if I leave. They will call security. So I left. I got in the car and I waited in that damn parking lot for 2 to 3 hours so I can find a little piece of me to drive back to my side of town. Okay. So from there, okay, I'm literally asking myself, what can I do to help myself until the right people show up in my life to help me? I was so far down in the dumps. Now, let me be clear. I experienced lows before, right? And the lows would be hard to get out the bed, hard to do things, but this was different. This was different. I was literally felt like I was closed in and fighting for my life. Seriously. I really felt like my brain was failing me. I felt like my brain was slipping and just doing all kinds of shit that I didn't want it to do. And I could not wrangle it in. No matter how I had every intention to try to get it together, but I just could not get it together.
Yeah.
And my diet was poor. My physical health was poor. Everything was just poor. I was at a job I hated. My marriage ain't shit, but we acted like it is, but we really ain't. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Really nothing. I'm not having a good time with my parents, not having a good time with my social life. I'm not having a good time with family. Shit was just, you've been faking so long and you can't fake no more. The shit is just falling apart. Okay. Showing itself and it's falling apart. And I had to stop myself and ask myself, what am I willing to do to help myself?
Right.
Till the right people insert. So Angie, tell me about your lows. What was your lowest low? Like, what was the gutter low?
Ooh, goodness. Shit, let me see. I don't know, man. It wasn't can't even really pinpoint like a specific moment, but I can pinpoint a time frame, a
Okay.
period. And this was during the time, it was like maybe 2017, 2018, and I still hadn't been diagnosed yet. But this was like a really fucked up time. And at that time, I hurt my back at work. I was that back then I was still working as a CNA, and I hurt my back at work. Um, and I heard it, but I didn't hurt it that day. It had been hurting. You see what I'm saying? And I had went to work and I just couldn't. You know what I mean? I just could not no more. When I went there that day, when I got up that day, I got up and I said, "This is gonna be my last day here." And I just knew it. I felt it. I just knew it. I went to work. It was a crazy, ridiculous, nursing home day. I worked the day by myself, all that crazy shit. And I said, I ain't coming back here no more. I'm just not, and I the whole night I said I'm not coming back here. So that I left there early, a couple hours early, went to the ER. And not, like I said, my back was hurt, but it's not like it was I injured it right then and there. It had been, hurt. It had been hurt or whatever.
Right.
But that day I was gonna make sure it was extra hurt. So it was extra hurt that day. Because I had decided that I wasn't going back. So I went to the doctor. I went and did all of that. And I was like, well, shit, I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Like, I'm like, I'm not going back here, but I don't know what else I'm gonna do right now. And it had been like over a progression of time. I had kept saying, this is not what I want. This is not where
Right.
I want to be. There has to be something more for me. And I
Right.
knew that it was, but I didn't know how to get there and I didn't know a way out for it from where I was at. And so I felt trapped. And when you feel trapped and when you feel hopeless, that
Eh,
is the low. That period was low for me. Um Hopeless, I really felt trapped and hopeless. And like there was nowhere to go. You know what I
Right.
mean? And that was a terrible depressive time where when you that depressed, it's like you can look up, right? And you see the light, but you can't get up there. You
That
know what I mean? You in this I was in this dark ass cave. It's dark, it's wet, it's cold down here. And I'm looking and I can't get up. And I can't get up. You be trying, man. You be trying. I swear you do. Um, Man, you be trying. And I was praying and man, not so much on the meditation part back then, not so much on the awareness and stuff like that back then, but it was a really dark time for me. And it lasted all the way up until like August, September of 2019 when I finally went to the doctor. So from that time, early in 2018, actually late 2017, but I left out of work in 2018. That's when I gained all of this weight. That's when I started losing my hair. That's when my skin was crazy, dark
right.
circles. Like I was damn near a raccoon. Like shit. It's some pictures that I look at and I'm like, who was
Ooh,
that? Like, damn. You know what I mean? You like you used to say, ran through. Child, I wasn't ran through. I was ran the fuck over. Like ran over. They backed up and ran that motherfucker over again. Wait a minute. Hold on. I got to get this dog her thing. And because she keep fucking with me in this corner, y'all.
if
Fifi,
you don't get Fifi what she need, girl.
and I see she got it now. She got it. But it was really a dark time. And I look back at the pictures like
Hmm.
shit. You know what I mean? I
Praying
was
through.
fucked up.
Hmm.
Emotionally, I was fucked up. Mentally, I was fucked up. Physically, all of that. Because my mind was messed up. So
Yeah.
because that part was messed up, everything was messed up. You know what I mean? Because I had damn near suicidal, damn near just like, you know what? I don't even want to be here no more because I don't see no way out of this misery, out of this darkness, because it was misery. It was absolute
Listen to
misery. absolute misery, but nobody knew it. So I got up, even before I ever went out of work, I got up and went to work every day or every night because back then I worked nights. So I would get up and go, and you would never know that I felt the way I felt. You
Yeah.
would never know it
Yeah.
because I was still Angie. So everybody loves Angie Mitchell. So I'm still all happy and doing my thing and supporting and doing and da 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 da. But I was fucking miserable, miserable inside.
Yeah.
Miserable. I was miserable. I was dying inside. I really was. Like that shit was eating me up from the inside out. That's what it feels like. That's what those depressive lows feel like for felt like at that time for me. That's what it felt like. So it wasn't that it was like the necessarily, the lowest point. It was just that's what the lows was. And
Right.
it finally got to the point where I just could not take that. I didn't want to be that low no more. And
Oh,
I finally was like, man, somebody got to tell me something. You know what I mean? Somebody
yeah.
has to tell me something. And that's when I finally said, you know what? And I really asked my doctor, like, there's something is not right. And it hasn't been right. And I'm ready to make it right, you know.
That,
And that's what that was. But prior to that, it's like I knew something wasn't right. I just didn't, you never really ready to look that in the face. Like, because when you look that in the face, you have to look at yourself and say, well, yeah, girl, you got to, can't nobody change this shit but you.
listen. li-
So you got to be ready to look at yourself. And I wasn't ready to do that. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
that's what makes it low. That's what makes you feel hopeless. That's all of that because I wasn't ready to look at myself. I was too busy looking at all the everything else and the circumstances and the people and what folk wasn't doing and how people was making me feel, and attaching all of that mess to my mess instead of taking accountability for my own mess
That part.
and for my own well-being because like you said you have to take accountability for your own well-being. Ain't nobody else gonna do
You do. And you know what? With me, there were I think that particular low was the I needed the wake up call because
it. Yeah,
you show up a way, you're showing up in life a certain way every day for
yeah,
so long, you think that's normal until it comes to a head.
yep,
And it just came to a head, and you just start to um I feel like when you start to become more aware, you're forced to look at shit. You're forced to
yes ma'am,
shit. You're forced to have to let shit. My mom would say you got to let your house burn down and then rebuild it back up the
yep,
way that you see it. And that
yep,
was like I was having lows, but I was good at, well, let me say this because my pictures was a wretched mess, girl. I do. I look back at them pictures and be like, oh,
like
you was stupid looking.
sheesh. Like
Was
ugh,
crazy looking, girl, and ran through like I was ran through. Like over now, you had
terrible.
I had these sides right here were dark. Okay, like the right up in here, like all the way from like up here, all the way
Right,
just dark,
right,
just dark. And I mean, bad acne, puffy eyes because I wasn't
mm-hmm,
well. It was back acne, like my back acne
mm-hmm.
crazy. It was
Oh,
just
I used to get them boils all the time.
yes,
Ugh.
like it was just I was just oh, shit was just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've
Mm-hmm.
always had suicidal thoughts, but because I was trained so well to show up and go to work and do your chores at home, you keep your house clean, you get your kids together, and then the rest you just have to figure it out.
And
You
then
don't
you
get
do
time for
figure
yourself.
the rest of this shit out. Right.
Don't get to do all of that. And so I was just, even though that shit was murder inside of me, like it was murdering me to do that shit every day. Like when I say
Yeah.
going to work and then being married to someone that we weren't really rocking, and then
Right.
got a special needs kid, and then I got undiagnosed mental health issues, and then I'm taking care, my parents who I
Yep.
had issues with for so long, and we still got issues. Like my environment was toxic as fuck 24/7. Like from
Mm-hmm.
the family to friends, just the job, everything that I entered
Yeah.
24/7 was just toxic as fuck.
Yeah.
And so when my inner self finally was like, bitch, you can't do this no more. We ain't
Mm-hmm.
doing it. Like my inner spirit was like, I ain't doing it.
Mm-hmm. Enough is enough.
Making me
Enough is enough.
submit. That low gutter point for me when I'm having to scrape myself up out the house to get to the doctor, that was
Right.
the gutter point. Like I broke furniture before, but that wasn't my gutter point. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I broke furniture, but breaking furniture ignited the thought of getting my
Yeah.
shit together. But
Yeah.
it was really when I'm in my house and I am literally trying to peel myself out the bed. I am literally saying, bitch, just get up. Just
Mm-hmm.
if you could just
Mm-hmm.
get up.
Just get
Just
up.
and when I say I walked out the house looking a stone cold fool because I'm literally telling myself, just grab a shirt, just grab some pants, just
Mm-hmm.
grab a pair of socks. Them hoes ain't even got a match. Just find something in you to put your hand on the dresser drawer, open it, and get the socks, and then still have energy to put them on. So it was just many things of like a
Right.
workout of coaching myself to get there. So it was, and sitting in that car for 2 to 3 hours made me think about the people that I was entertaining. Like in that moment, I didn't have nobody to call. I'm looking at all the people that I'm hanging out with. We keep
Mm-hmm.
there all kind of ratchet shit with,
Yep.
and I'm in the lowest moment right now, and I don't have
And can't
nobody
call a soul to say I'm in breakdown. Can't call not nan one of these hussies to
and
say
say I'm in
I'm
breakdown.
in breakdown. Mm-mm.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
And
Mm-mm.
I think that gutter point for me needed to happen so I could flip because my
Mm-hmm.
spirit was legit tired of
Yeah.
showing up to a life that, I mean, when I tell you that I had strong suicidal thoughts because it was like, you mean the motherfucking tell me I got to show up to some shit, and every time I show up to this shit, it's for everybody but me. Every time I show up to this shit,
Yep. It's for everybody but you.
the
Yes, ma'am.
movements are for everyone except me.
Yep. Yes, ma'am.
That was the
Yes, ma'am.
wildest shit ever. It was the
Yeah.
wildest shit turned, and then to be turned away by your own people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like they tell you to ask for help. This was the mental fuck that was doing it for me. They say
Mm-hmm.
because me and this woman had dialogue. She put me on prescriptions. Right? This is the same. This woman that turned me away, this doctor that turned me away when I had an appointment with her before with mental health issues, she gave me
Mm-hmm.
prescriptions.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm literally telling this woman that I need her. I'm asking for the help. Damn near well, no, I didn't damn near. I was begging for it. I'm begging
Mm-hmm.
for the help because this is why we have an issue with asking for help because I'm literally in a professional's office
Yeah.
begging for help only to be told that she don't want to help me because she'd
Mm-hmm.
rather go home. You get what, like that was a mental mind fuck. It's like I'm asking for the help. I'm willing to
Right.
for help, even though I don't understand how money and help go in the same fucking sentence. But here we are. I am willing to pay for the help, and I can't even pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Not only am I in
Mm-hmm.
here begging, I am in here begging, ready to throw my fucking wallet at you, and I
Right.
can't, and I still can't get help.
Right. Right.
And you know how many people must quit on life?
Mm-hmm.
Quit because of be shit like that. They really
Mm-hmm.
just let their guard down for just a moment to say, fuck it, let me just ask for help.
Right. Right.
And you ask for it, beg for it, you're pleading for it, you're crying for it, you're snotty for it, you're swollen in the face for it because you're
Mm-hmm.
hysterical and you're told no. And it really make you wonder, what is my purpose here?
Right. 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 That was a big thing for me too. Like, what is my purpose? It has to be so, I know this ain't it. You know what I mean? I know this ain't it. You get to in that space. And that right there by itself is enough to drag you down further into, those depressive lows. That's that thought of not knowing, like, damn, what am I here for? What am I supposed to be doing? There got to be something. That's enough right there to drive you damn insane. And yeah.
Listen, that's that. And the sadness, the other piece of sadness in that is that's why many of us don't even get help, because it's kind of like, why
Mm-hmm.
am I getting ready to break down and let these people see me at my lowest, only for them to tell me they ain't finna help me?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's your own.
Yeah.
That was the other kicker. Like, it's your own. It's like, girl, you see it.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, I was just here with you, and you were okay with giving me prescriptions. And
Mm-hmm.
I was good. I was coasting until I couldn't coast no more. I was no, like
Mm-hmm.
it just wasn't working. And it just, yeah, I hate it for the next woman that's actually dealing with that right now. So I'm really hoping that this reaches somebody who really feels like,
Mm.
they tried it all and can't crack the code.
Can't crack that code. And man, you gotta again, and I'm gonna keep saying that you have to advocate for yourself. You have to recognize and don't take no for an answer. You know what I mean? Especially if when you know when something ain't right. You know when something ain't right. You know when you're off. You know how you're feeling in that moment. If that person, don't take no for an answer. If it's not, because if you take that no, then you still gonna go back home to that misery that you are trying to escape in the first place. You know what I'm saying? You're still gonna have that same, and that, like I said, that misery, that miserable place is miserable. It's misery. It really is like that. That was a miserable place to be
Yeah.
in. And I do not wish that on anybody, man. I do not wish that hopelessness, and not even the helplessness, because I never felt helpless. That I
Right.
never felt. I never felt helpless. Hopeless, yes. Helpless, I never felt.
Okay.
Um, but hope, some to a certain degree, like shit, damn, like how am I gonna get out of this? Not seeing, and that was the other thing, like, when you are in or the manic part or whatever, or the depressive part, you see the absolute worst, and you do not see a way out from that absolute worst. The absolute worst. And you think the absolute worst, that's where all of the additional anxiety comes from anyway, because you're thinking the absolute worst. So I'm thinking, like, shit, I guess I might as well go ahead and wrap this thing up, because I ain't gonna get up out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's real.
It
So this is
is.
what I'm going to encourage before we close it out. Some of the things that you could do for yourself, right, is, let's start with eating.
Mm-hmm.
What you consume is what you will be. Part of why I was an erratic ass mess, foggy, unclear, lack of motivation, fatigue, all that shit, was because I also had a poor diet. Very
Yeah.
poor. My diet was consistent of bullshit. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have
Mm-hmm.
to run it down. Um, just unhealthiness. I was drinking and I was eating, and eating a lot
Mm-hmm.
of just stuff. Okay. Just stuff. The next piece is who and what you're entertaining. If you enjoy TV, I highly, 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 highly encourage you to turn it off.
Yeah.
Highly encourage you to get rid of it. I highly encourage you to just leave it alone. You need to quiet your space down. I was highly erratic because I had a lot going on around me. I was watching ancient programs, listening to ancient people, conversing with ancient people. So when I turned the TV off, there was nothing for me to converse about. It was easy for me to get rid of those friends. It
Mm-hmm.
was easy because there was
Mm-hmm.
nothing else to talk about. They weren't willing to talk about where I was with my mental health and how I was working on that. They weren't
Right.
to be a part of the solution, but they were damn
Mm-hmm.
sure willing to be a part of the problem. And I could no
Well,
longer.
because that would mean them taking a look at themselves.
Absolutely.
Right.
And I just
Right.
couldn't.
Yeah.
I was in poor physical health because I wasn't exercising, I wasn't moving. I had poor blood circulation, my joints was locking up on me. I always had hip pain, knee pain, shit shifting, moving, cracking.
All of it.
Listen, I had to roll around to get up and shit. You know, I had, girl, it was a mess. I had to roll around, look for some shit to prop up on, and just a
And
bunch
who
of
got time for that? Who has time? Who has it?
that was a lot of work, right? That was a
Yeah.
lot of work. And I
Yeah.
and in that, like that, sitting in my car for 2 to 3 hours and I'm looking at me. Like I had no other choice at this point but to look at me. And I just literally said, God, I promise I will submit to whatever the fuck is necessary at this point. Cause life can't be no more fucked up than
Hmm.
shit I got going on right here. My
Yeah.
health is fucked up. My mental is fucked up. My household is fucked up. The shit around me, everything is fucked up. It's just
Yeah.
fucked up. And I'm sick of being in this fucked up space. So
Right.
I will do whatever I can, and
Whatever.
I know when I do what I can, you will grant me who will take me the rest of this way out. And when
Yep.
I tell y'all without fail, the moment I just said, fuck it, I don't have nothing else to lose, and I'm focusing on me, and I stayed with that shit, the shit started happening. I started coming
Hmm.
across people that would forever change my life
Hmm.
and help morph me into being the best individual. And I'm still growing on a daily basis, but the level
Hmm.
of awakening that I have, even with being diagnosed
Right.
with ADHD, is
Right.
just other. Like I don't have to take medication for it. Thank God. Okay.
Right.
Did now let me be clear. I did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I ain't finna sit
Yeah.
here and flex like I wasn't taking shit. No, no, no. She was taking shit. But I was able, when I got my life together, started focusing on me, I was able to eliminate a lot of things that
Hmm.
I eliminate. So I encourage you all, if you feeling neurospicy, please work on yourself and seek the necessary help. That's what I got. Angie, how we closing this out, girl? Talk to us about
I agree. If you are, as she said, if you are feeling that way, if you feeling that emotional overwhelm, you feeling, like your mind is out of control, you can't focus, you're foggy, whatever it is, go check that shit out. Go see what's going on with you. Your mind is your greatest asset. It's your greatest asset. You have to be kind to it because when it's gone, it's like it's gone. You
that's it.
know, if your mind ain't right, ain't nothing else gonna be right. Your relationships are not gonna be right. Your health is not gonna be right. Your career, your business, whatever it is that you're focused on, is not gonna be right because you're not gonna be able to focus. So be kind to your mind, and if you got something going on, man, go take it. Go take care of it. Go take
That's
care of
it.
it, and
That is
don't take no for an answer. If they tell you no, keep going. Keep going.
that's it, y'all. That is it. Work on you first and foremost, because you can start that now.
Yeah,
You ain't got to wait
absolutely.
on nobody. You can start on that now. And it's more, and ladies, I'm going to say this and then we'll pick back up on this on another episode. It's more than hair. It's more than makeup. It's more than them lavish vacations. It's more than that luxury car. It's
Yeah.
more than that. It's more than the champagne. It's more than the shopping. It's more than that.
A whole hell of a lot more. It's work, man. It's work. It's work. It really is. It's work.
That part. Until the next episode, y'all. Tons of love and light. Thank y'all for tuning